Hi, my name's Sarah. I'm an energy healing and Akashic Records teacher and practitioner, and welcome to my YouTube channel. On this channel I share tips, advice, information and experiences that I have learned from my own spiritual journey so far, in hope that it will help guide you along yours. In today's video I would like to talk about the witch wound. Now, the witch wound is something that I see a lot in my work in the Akashic Records. And essentially what it is it is wounding from a past lifetime where we have been persecuted or killed for using our spiritual gifts and abilities. So often it will show up in people's Akashic Records readings or clearings as being burned at the stake or drowned. And it comes from lifetimes where we have been persecuted for using our gifts and our spiritual abilities. Now, it can show up in many ways, but the main way in which it shows up is a fear of being seen, a fear of sharing our voice, and a fear of leaning into and using our spiritual gifts out of fear of persecution. And the fear that we feel when it comes to, showing up, speaking our truth, sharing our gifts is a very, very real fear, because we still hold the energetic memory of that fear. So whilst the conscious mind might not understand where the fear is coming from, on an energetic level, that fear exists. And it shows up because it is trying to protect us, because energetically we have that memory that we have not been safe in previous lifetimes to use our gifts and share our gifts. So that fear shows up and holds us back because it is trying to protect us. So overall it presents as a fear of being seen, but it can also show up as playing down what we know, playing down our gifts and abilities, tailoring and using different language, so avoiding maybe using what's seen to be a spiritual language because we are scared to talk about it. So in terms of the energetic stagnation and where that sits within the energy body from past life traumas relating to witch wounding, the first place it sits is within the sacral chakra, and this is because it's linked to our divine feminine gifts and past lives, but also the shame and guilt we would carry around a lifetime where we've had witch wounding is all going to be stored within the sacral chakra. It then shows up in the solar plexus chakra. So the solar plexus is linked to how we show up in the world, our confidence, our sense of self, and the persecution element of the witch wounding trauma can affect the solar plexus and how well the energy flows through there. So it impacts our confidence to show up and how we are perceived by others. So if I think back to a couple of years ago when I was doing Akashic Records readings, or when I started doing Akashic Records readings, and I was really worried to get online and talk about past lives because I was worried about how I would be perceived. I was worried that people would think I was crazy, that people wouldn't understand me, and that was really affecting how I was showing up online and how I was able to speak about that. So the next place that the energetic stagnation sits then is within the throat chakra. So this is linked to our communication, so obviously the ability to speak up and verbally share our gifts and our abilities. The trauma from this can sit in the throat chakra. There can also be energetic stagnation related to the physical trauma in relation to the witch wound. So often, if you have had a past life where you were a witch, you might have been burned at the stake or drowned, but you also might have been strangled or suffocated. So there can be the physical element of the physical energetic stagnation related to that trauma can sit within the throat as well. So the healing happens in layers. All healing happens in layers, and it's the same for the witch wound. So from what I've seen with my work with the Akashic Records and personally working through the witch wound myself, is it starts in the sacral chakra. So we first need to start looking at the energetic stagnation in the sacral chakra, particularly around that shame and guilt about showing up and stepping into our gifts. It then shows up in the solar plexus. So this is all around our personal power. So we need to look at where we are giving away our power, where we are not in our power. And then it shows up in the throat chakra. So this is all about us being able to speak up, share our truth, share our gifts. Now, the witch wound, in my experience, is something that does take quite a while to work through. What you will find happens is that you might work through a certain amount of the witch wound. You might find you're able to show up, share so much of your gifts to a certain level, and then you hit your kind of next level of energetic stagnation, and then you've got to go back to where the energetic stagnation sits. You clear that, you're able to share more, step up more, and then you might hit the next level. So this is how I found my experience of working through the witch wound in. I personally think I've probably still got energetic stagnation to clear around the witch wound in, but I don't kind of overthink it or put too much on it. I just recognise when it's showing up for me and have a look at, right, okay, what do I need to look at to clear that? So I might work through a certain amount of energetic stagnation, be really confident in how I'm showing up online, being able to articulate myself, share my gifts, and then I might get to a point where I feel like I'm wobbling a little bit when it comes to sharing my gifts, speaking online, and then that is an indicator to me, right, the witch wounding is showing up again. What do I need to do to work through this? So tips and tricks and advice for working through the witch wound. There is an element of feeling the fear and doing it anyway, because we have this energetic memory of this past life, so it is the body's way of trying to keep us safe. When we feel the fear and do it anyway, you are showing your body that it is safe to share. So you're showing your energy body, your subconscious mind, I didn't die when I shared this. So that is where the feeling the fear and doing it anyway comes in, because you start to build that safety and trust in your body that I am safe when I share my gifts, when I speak up, I'm not going to die. So that is the first way in which in which you can heal the witch wound, is just setting yourself. It doesn't need to be anything too drastic, because we don't want to put the body into like a state of fear or fight or flight. But if you can pick one thing that might scare you a little bit when it comes to speaking up, being seen, and just do something small towards that, and you will begin to see that it is safe to do it. It's a bit like exposure therapy. You start to feel safe the more and more that you share online or in your day-to-day life. It doesn't have to be online, but the more you share, the more you lean into your gifts, you'll see that it is safe to do so. The second way then in which I have helped myself clear some of the energetic stagnation around the witch wound is working with my Akashic Records, doing an Akashic clearing and healing. This is really, really powerful work. It can really help to assist you in transmuting some of that energetic stagnation. Now, in an Akashic clearing, what happens is the guides will give you access to the energetic stagnation relating to that past life so you can transmute it. So it might be that you don't have access to it. So the energetic stagnation from past lives tends to sit on the outer layers of the energy body of the light grid. And how I see it is that sometimes we might not be able to reach that energetic stagnation to work through it. So in a clearing, what the guides will do is help shift the energetic stagnation from the outer layers of the light grid to the inner layers of the light grid to give you access to transmute that energetic stagnation. So this is really powerful work. It isn't a magic wand that is just going to clear everything for you, but it just helps you and assists you in that transmutation process. The other practices then are anything around sacral chakra practices, solar plexus practices and throat chakra practices, because the energetic stagnation for witch wounding is generally going to be sat in one of these three chakras. Most likely it's going to be sat across all three. Any kind of work with these chakras is going to help move that energetic stagnation. And if when you are doing the work with the chakras, you are setting the intention that I am working with this chakra to clear energetic stagnation related to the witch wound. Intention is really, really powerful. So when we are working with the sacral chakra, any kind of inner child and shadow work is connected to the sacral chakra. So in terms of shadow work, you can do journaling, so you can look at prompts of where am I scared of being seen, where am I playing small, why am I playing small, what feelings does that bring up, and delving into it that way. The solar plexus chakra then is all about personal power, so prompts for looking at what is going on within the solar plexus is looking at where am I giving away my power, where am I not stepping into my power, why am I not stepping into it, what does it bring it up, what are the reasons that I'm holding back, and really digging into that. And then throat chakra practices are, in terms of journal prompts and reflection questions, is where am I not speaking my truth, where am I not living in alignment with my authentic self, where am I scared to speak up, what am I scared to speak up about. So it's all these kind of prompting questions, and the reason for these kind of prompting, probing questions is to be able to draw out what is in the subconscious around this wounding. So once you've done those practices, then any kind of physical practices to help move the energetic stagnation around what has come up for you. So it works in layers. So the prompts help kind of bring it into your awareness, and then the physical practices then help to transmute that energy. So this is very much just an overview of the witch wound, some tips, tricks, advice from my own personal experience of working through the witch wound. It is a really difficult one to work through, but it is very powerful when you work through it. And if I look back to how far I've come, a couple of years ago, the thought of sitting down and recording a video for YouTube on the witch wound, oh my God, my whole body would have contracted. I would have felt physically sick from the fear of it. So I am testimony to the fact that you can work through this, and you can get to a place where you feel confident to speak up and share gifts, abilities, skills. The world needs your light, the world needs your magic. Now is not the time to be playing small. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you would like to work with me on a deeper level to work through this witch wounding, and understand like what you've got going on, how you can move through it, I do one-to-one Akashic Records readings, Akashic clearings, energy healing, and I also offer coaching packages. So there is information on how you can contact me, how you can book a reading in the description. If you've got any questions, please feel free to reach out for me, and I'll see you soon for another video.